Have you ever pictured a plant just floating in water, its roots dangling freely, growing faster than you've ever seen? It sounds like something from a sci-fi movie, right? But it's real, and it's called deep water culture, or DWC for short. It's one of the simplest, yet most powerful ways to grow plants without soil. So what is it exactly? Imagine a plant sitting in a little basket, suspended just above a container of water. Its roots aren't buried in dirt, searching for food. Instead, they hang down directly into a reservoir filled with a perfectly balanced nutrient solution. That's the core of deep water culture. The whole idea is to keep the roots submerged 24/7 in oxygen-rich, nutrient-packed water. The plant gets to drink and eat exactly what it needs, whenever it needs it. No soil, no digging, and no guessing what's happening underground. The roots live right inside their pantry. To really get why DWC is so effective, you have to think about what roots actually do. They don't eat soil. They absorb minerals that are dissolved in water. Soil is just the middleman. It holds the water and the minerals. DWC cuts out that middleman and delivers the goods directly. It's the most basic and powerful form of this idea. Let's break down a typical DWC system. First, you need a reservoir. This can be anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a giant industrial tank. It's just there to hold the nutrient solution. Second, you have a net pot. This little basket holds the plant up top, but it has holes so the roots can grow down into the water. Third, there is a growing medium, usually something like clay pebbles. This stuff just gives the plant some stability in the net pot. It doesn't provide any nutrients. And fourth, the most critical part, an air pump connected to an air stone. This is the heart of the system. The pump pushes air through the stone, creating tons of tiny bubbles in the water. This keeps the water full of oxygen. Without it, the roots would drown. With it, they absolutely thrive. The plant's roots are just hanging out in this bubbly, nutrient-rich water all day, every day. There's no watering schedule, no flood and drain cycle, just constant immersion and constant oxygen. It almost sounds too simple to be true, but that simplicity is exactly what makes DWC so brilliant. One of the biggest perks of deep water culture is insane growth speed. Because nutrients are always available, plants don't waste any energy sending out roots to search for food. All that energy goes directly into getting bigger. Leaves get huge, stems get thick, and the roots, ... Oh, the roots. They explode into these incredible, dense, bright white networks. In a healthy system, you can lift the lid and see a massive curtain of roots filling the entire container. This direct access to food is why plants in DWC often grow way faster than they do in soil. But it's not just about speed, it's also about control. As the grower, you're in the driver's seat. You can measure and adjust the nutrient concentration with total precision. You use a meter to check the electrical conductivity, which tells you the nutrient strength. You also measure the pH to make sure all those minerals are actually available for the plant to absorb. In this range, all the nutrients stay dissolved and ready for uptake. If the pH drifts too high or too low, some minerals get locked out. This is one of the main learning curves with DWC because the roots are so dependent on the water. Any imbalance can affect the plant really fast. Soil has a natural buffer, but with DWC, precision is key. Water temperature is another big one. The biggest boogeyman in DWC is root rot. This happens when there's not enough oxygen or the water gets too hot, allowing nasty pathogens to take over. A lot of beginners love DWC because it's so easy to get started. All you really need is a bucket, a net pot, some clay pebbles. When you compare that to more complicated hydro systems with lots of pumps and timers, DWC has way fewer moving parts. There are a few different flavors of deep water culture, too. Single bucket systems are super popular for hobbyists. Each plant gets its own little self-contained setup. Then you have recirculating DWC systems, or RDWC. In these, multiple plant containers are all connected to a central reservoir. A pump circulates the water between them. There's also a related technique called the Kratky method. It's even simpler because it gets rid of the air pump entirely. The idea is that as the plant drinks the water level drops, leaving an air gap for the top part of the roots to breathe. It works great for certain things like lettuce, but for bigger, thirstier plants, traditional DWC with an air pump is more reliable. DWC is fantastic for leafy greens. Things like lettuce, spinach, basil, and other herbs just go wild in these systems. You can definitely grow bigger plants like tomatoes and peppers in DWC too, but they'll need some extra support to hold them up and more careful nutrient management. On a commercial scale, you'll see DWC used in what are called raft systems. Imagine giant, floating styrofoam platforms holding hundreds of plants. The roots hang down into long troughs of aerated nutrient solution. These setups are super efficient for mass-producing leafy greens with amazing consistency. Water efficiency is another huge plus. Since it's a closed system, you lose very little water. There's no runoff into the ground and very little evaporation. The nutrients stay in the system until the plant uses them, or you do a reservoir change. The one catch is that DWC does need electricity. That air pump has to run 24/7. If you have a power outage for too long, the roots can run out of oxygen and suffocate. Because of this, some growers invest in a backup power supply, just in case. But even with that, many people find DWC to be one of the most forgiving hydro methods once you get the hang of it. You'll want to check the pH every day or so, keep an eye on the water level, and completely change out the nutrient solution every 1 to 2 weeks, depending on how big your plants are. As they grow, they drink more water and use up more nutrients. So you'll have to top off the reservoir with fresh water in between changes to keep things stable. One of the coolest things about DWC is how you can literally see your plant's health. In soil, the roots are a mystery. In DWC, you can lift the lid anytime and check them out. Healthy roots are bright, white, and smell earthy and fresh. If they look brown, slimy, or smell funky, you know you have a problem and you can fix it right away. Of course, you can't forget about light. While the roots live in darkness, the leaves up top need plenty of strong light for photosynthesis. Most indoor DWC growers use full-spectrum LED grow lights to act as an artificial sun. For most leafy greens, about 18 hours of light a day is perfect for vegetative growth. What's really exciting is that DWC is scalable to almost any size. It works for a single plant in a tiny apartment, and it works for massive commercial greenhouses. The core principle never changes. Roots in water, plenty of oxygen, and balanced nutrients. In places where the soil is bad or there's no land to farm, DWC offers a clean, efficient alternative. In cities, it lets people grow fresh food indoors all year round. Deep water culture is basically hydroponics boiled down to its simplest, most elegant form. Water plus nutrients plus oxygen equals growth. It's a clear, direct relationship between the plant and its food. The system can be as simple as a bucket and an air pump, or as high-tech as you want, with automated sensors and custom nutrient formulas. As we look for more sustainable ways to grow food, DWC is one of the most accessible entry points into the world of soil-free farming. It shows us that when you understand what life really needs, you can build an environment that delivers it perfectly. It's not complicated. It's just roots suspended in opportunity. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.